Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Professionals Pulse. I am Farida Musaddi, the co founder and CEO of Al Fateh Technologies Dubai. Well, today's episode is all about trade partnerships and collaborations. The significance of trading lies in fostering economic growth, specialization, and efficiency by allowing nations to focus on their competitive advantages. Through international trade, countries can access a diverse array of products, stimulating innovation, technological progress, and economic development. Today's episode explores the intricate relationships that businesses forge to create mutually beneficial alliances. From international trade agreements to strategic collaborations between companies, we unravel the complexities and nuances of navigating the global marketplace. Join us as we discuss the impact of these partnerships on economies, industries, and innovation. Whether you're a business professional, policymaker, or simply curious about the interconnected nature of our global economy, this broadcast provides insight into the challenges, opportunities, and successes that arise when entities come together to build stronger, more prosperous future. And joining us today on this very special episode is Mr. Mustafa Hashim. Mr.
Hi,
Mustafa, first of all, welcome to the Professionals Pulse.
thank you. Thank you, Farida, for inviting.
A professional in commodity trading, Mr. Mustafa Hashim serves as the managing director of Discovery Trading Limited, Discovery Impex Limited, and Discovery Coffee Limited, collectively forming the Discovery Group. Prior to his role in Uganda, he held senior management positions in Myanmar, the UK, and Hong Kong. With extensive experience dating back to 1990, Mr. Hashim brings a wealth of knowledge in agricultural commodity trading, having engaged in the trading of agricultural commodities globally throughout his career. Once again, Mr. Mustafa, welcome to the Professionals Pulse, and it's great to have you here with us on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you, Farida.
So, starting off, how have trade partnerships played a pivotal role in shaping your company's success in the coffee bean and the cocoa trading industry? That's, I think, one of the industries that you deal with, apart from many other things as well. So, how do you think that these trade partnerships have played a role in this?
Well, Farida, first of all, I mean, I came from a commodity trading background, and coming to Uganda, I think the first thing we looked at, which was the obvious commodity, was coffee, which we
Correct.
had never done before.
Okay.
As a commodity, I had never traded in coffee, so the product knowledge was very important. And we had to have some knowledge on this, and that needed a trading partner who would then pass on their knowledge to us.
Correct.
So we identified one of the companies here in Uganda who was already a trader, multinational, and they kind of accepted us to supply them coffee locally, and that's how we started. So I mean, we would have never been able to get to where we are today if that partnership had not started. So it's pivotal. I mean, I can't say more, but all the knowledge we gain in terms of processing the market dynamics quite different from the other commodities I've been trading, because coffee is one of the most traded commodities on the futures market, whereas I was trading in commodities which were not trading on the futures market. So that market dynamics was different. and of course the product knowledge in any business. If you don't have a product knowledge, you will never be able to progress. And I think that was important because that allowed me to gain that knowledge on both market and the product.
But you also trade internationally, right? Globally.
So
So,
that's how we started. So that partnership, actually that's a multinational company. So automatically that allowed us to sell coffees around the world. And of course, Ugandan coffee mainly goes to Europe. So then once we had taken that step, automatically then we started building relationships with some of the partners around, and mostly it was traders. Now, coming from Uganda, you have to understand Africa, the end buyers are scared to come to Africa because unfortunately, this is a very unfortunate thing, but they feel that if the contract is not honored, they don't have a legal leg to stand on. So I think that we wanted to make sure that people are comfortable, and obviously some of the traders who have been trading with Uganda were open to that. So we had to then approach to the trading houses of Switzerland, Singapore, and form partnerships with them, and that helped us to reach the end buyers. So today we are selling to most of the big roasters around the world through those big houses, which they feel comfortable buying from.
okay. Okay. So, as you shared, could you also let us know some example of, a successful collaboration that has significantly contributed to the growth and development of your business in the global market?
Well, as I mentioned, I mean, when we started with this multinational here. And as we started working with them, we started supplying to them coffees locally, which gradually we went into processing for them and then and delivering to them finished coffees.
Okay.
And as time progressed, they also helped us a lot in getting directly to the end buyers, because for them also it made sense for them to increase their volumes. They needed somebody who they could rely on, trust, and that opened the door for other companies to come in. And as soon as you get associated with good names, good companies. I don't want to use their name because I don't know whether they would
Absolutely.
permit me or not. So I'm not taking the names, but I can only say they're a multinational. They're all around the world, and they kind of introduce us to the market because they had the confidence in us. And when they're introducing, they know that in the end buyer is going to come through them. So that
Right.
transparency and that confidence on both sides help. They knew that we won't go direct, and they knew that their customers would not come direct, and they were quite open about it. And that allowed us to go more global. And as soon as you enter in the global scene, automatically people start monitoring what shipments are coming out of Uganda, who are the shippers, who are they going to, and automatically
Correct.
once you have that data, people would come to you. When they see that the quality has been good, the timely commitments are being honored. So that all kind of in the global scene, it's very important. Unfortunately, in East Africa, people don't realize that, and that long-term thinking is missing, unfortunately. But there are many companies who do have that long-term thought process.
But was that difficult? Was that journey difficult? As in, getting those global partnerships in place, dealing with these
Of course,
multinationals?
it was never easy. It was never easy. When I first met some of the customers with whom I'm working today, they kind of, just ignored us in the beginning.
Correct.
And I have always believed in one thing: performance speaks. No matter how much I can talk, make presentations, all that, in the end, they will only come to you when they have seen some performance from you. and everybody
Correct.
is watching each other that who's performing with who. So it took a while, but it was a step by step progress where one after the other people's, and amongst the industry people talk that this company has been a good company, this company stay away from wherever they have a problem. So automatically within the industry it was by word of mouth that people started talking that yeah, in Uganda you have this company also who you can work with and you can rely on. So
Correct.
as I said, it was difficult in the beginning, but now people come to you rather than you going to people. So that's an achievement, I would
Because
say.
the journey is never easy, and the more
It's
difficult
never
it gets, I
easy.
think it's more
Never easy.
challenging.
Having said that, every day we learn new things. Every day we find new customers, and now at least we decide who we want to work with. Not like before that we wanted to talk to everybody, but we always thought who we want to work with. But I mean, we always targeted that this is the company we want to work with. But now it is like we really choose.
And what are the other products that your company deals in apart from coffee beans and cocoa?
Our other products are sesame seeds, red kidney beans, different kind of kidney beans, green mung beans, and bird eye chilies, vanilla. So these are the products, but these are all very seasonal products, so they are not all year round. Coffee is, I think, almost 10 months in a year. Coffee crop is harvesting in one part of the country. It starts from the eastern province going up to the western, central, all that. So coffee is more important for us because obviously it allows us to trade almost the whole year round.
Okay, that's great. And so, in this dynamic landscape of international trade, what strategies has your companies employed to establish and maintain fruitful partnerships with suppliers and distributors and other stakeholders in the supply chain?
Well, one thing which we have always believed in is transparency. And as I mentioned to you, that the company who we started working with was a multinational, and we still work with them quite a lot. Uh, they were very open, and they that also taught us that by being open, by sharing our information and the correct information, whereby it's a public knowledge, but sometimes they don't have that information. When you share that information and when you are transparent, you are building a lot of trust. And I think a lot of your viewers must have read the book Speed of Trust. I would highly recommend that. That allows any business when there is trust to make it so simple and easy that when you go with a product to your customer, that trust allows you to convert it into a transaction very quickly. They don't have to think twice whether I'm right or wrong or whatever, I'm giving the right information or not, because they trust you. And
Correct.
I think trust and transparency are the two major factors, and I would call them strategies that we have always adopted. That we want to be very transparent with our customers and our suppliers also.
Correct. And also, because being global, every country also has, a different set of policies that one has to be adhering to. So, in
Right.
that case, how does one go about it, or what are the challenges that one could possibly look forward to in those regards?
Um, well, going one of the things with any trade, which and especially the trade we are doing, the end buyer is your consumer. The coffee is going on a supermarket shelf. So we have to understand that the roaster who's sitting in the middle and supplying and putting that coffee in his brand and putting it on a shelf needs to have coffee regular supply. If they don't have it on the shelf, they're losing not only business but their name, because obviously empty shelves will not help them. And
Correct.
this was a major factor during COVID. because there was a lot of problems with shipping lines and things like that. And one of the things which we have always focused on is making sure that when we are doing any sales, and normally the sales are being done in advance, like 2 months, 3 months down the road, we need to be sure that we have planned ourselves in terms of our production, because we do processing also. So
Okay.
this is something very important, that with the information, whatever you are doing, the planning is very important, that you plan your shipments, you plan, because we are a landlocked country, so we need to also plan that from here to Mombasa, which is the nearest seaport for us, it will take such time. And during COVID, it was taking longer because all the trucks were being, at the border, they were being tested, and all that COVID tests,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that all that was taking longer. And shipping lines were also having problems in placing container ships. So all that factors we had to take into account and make sure that all my team, like my operations, my production, everybody was kind of very closely monitoring the situation and making sure that we don't miss on shipments, we don't delay on shipments, which helps a lot, because that helps to build a name for yourself. And in the global trade, that is very important, that once you give a commitment, you make sure that you fulfill that commitment. Sometimes things do go wrong, sometimes they are out of your control. But if you are openly talking to your customers, your suppliers, and telling them that this is the situation I am in, this is what has happened, they understand. They totally understand. They in fact, not only do they understand, they try to help you out whatever way they can. And
Correct.
I have had instances where they have helped us out in many cases where it was situation which was totally out of our controls, and they said, okay, fine, we'll work out this way, and it has helped.
So, as you mentioned before, you have to be transparent.
Absolutely, absolutely. Transparency. I mean, by hiding a problem, it's not going to go away. That's what I believe in.
I agree. Yes.
And many a times, you are hiding it from a customer, because you are worried that the customer might not like it. They might get upset. You may lose the customer. But I have always seen and learned that whenever I have been open to them, and it has to be a genuine reason. You cannot just
Absolutely.
make up reasons.
Yes. Yes.
So they also understand. They have their information from the market. They know what's going on, the problems others are facing. And as soon as they know that you are open and you're coming forthcoming, then they also are quite happy and transparent about things.
That's absolutely great. So I think that is a very important takeaway point for anyone who wants to go with this. Or I think this strategy could apply to any business around the world, not just only for trading, even in the service
Absolutely.
industry.
Any trade, any business, for any business, not only just trading, for any business, you've got to be
Correct.
very transparent, very open, very, nobody's telling you to give away your trade secrets. But
Absolutely.
information which is a public knowledge, you should be sharing it very openly, because sometimes some people don't share it for many reasons. For instance, I'll give you that a lot of people would not share that there is a bumper crop here in Uganda, let's say. I would not share it because I will feel that my customer will not buy from me because he will wait for the markets to come down because there's a bumper crop. But when I tell them that there's a bumper crop, they also have that ability to make a decision, informed decision, and they appreciate that. So, and they're going to buy when they want to buy. They're not going to buy because there's a bumper crop or a short crop. They will buy because they have a requirement to buy.
Correct.
So, and even the traders would not take a position unless they know that they feel that this is the time to take a position. So, yeah, transparency, as I said, is the key.
So, with sustainability becoming an increasingly important factor in consumer choices, how does your company approach the collaborations to ensure ethical as well as environmental friendly practices in the sourcing and the trading of coffee beans and cocoa?
Well, interestingly, recently, European Union has announced that any coffee or many commodities actually for that matter coming to Europe will have to have a complete mapping done. And so we will have to now give them the data, the information with the GPS coordinates of our farmers,
Oh,
and and that's extensive work. I mean, it's a project which would take probably a year or more to get, because you've got very fragmented farming here in Africa. To collect that data and put it, digitalize them, and then put it to our customers that this is the farm where the coffee has come from, and then they will monitor from satellite pictures whether that area was deforested. So if there is any deforestation in that area, they will not accept that coffee or cocoa or any other commodity.
or any other
So that sustainability is a very big factor. So European Union has pushed it. A lot of people have not embraced it because it's a lot of work. Not only work, it's cost. It's too much cost.
coffee. Yes.
We're talking huge sums of money to be spent. But what we have done is we have started collecting data on small regions. So we've divided the whole country into regions. So we're just going by regions, and now we are starting to collect data. Field officers have been employed. Apart from that, of course, we are a Rainforest Alliance and an ISO certified company. And in a Rainforest Alliance, normally you work with cooperatives who have many hundreds of farmers under them. So that data is already available. So we have a starting point for us. And that Rainforest Alliance, I never thought would be so helpful today, not just the rainforest certification, but in the EUDR project, what the data we need to collect is already there. Now we just need to put it into a format which they want, and that helps us, to be a sustainable exporter. Many companies are not doing it. Many companies are not doing it. They feel that we'll not sell it to Europe, we'll sell it to other countries. Yes, there are many other countries, but you can't run away from that because it's your major end market in the end for
Yeah.
coffee, especially
And
the
this can
Uganda.
also go to other countries.
Absolutely, absolutely. This will come because the climate change is a huge factor.
Yeah, correct. That's true. Okay, that's something really interesting to know about.
Yeah. EUDR is something which they have been talking about it for a long time, but it was like kind of, nobody was openly talking about it within the trade. European Union has been pushing everybody from Europe, but the European buyers, the customers were not really pushing it until it became something, because everybody was thinking, okay, they will give a lot of time, we will, continue the way we are doing, and we'll see what to do.
Correct.
But I think now it has come to a point where they have put down their foot and they said by June 2024, they want all the companies to comply with. Otherwise, they will not allow the coffees to come in. So that's something which is quite
That's a big step. Yeah.
a big step. It's a big step.
Correct. And as we are discussing this, so in the face of these global challenges that we are talking about, as well as, we talked about COVID, other economic uncertainties or supply chain disruptions that you were telling us about, which happened during COVID with the shipment not happening regularly. How do you navigate and strengthen your trade partnerships to ensure resilience and continuity in your business operations? Apart from, of course, we discussed being transparent, but what other measures do you collectively take?
Well, one of the things with COVID, which taught us that you need to plan yourself in advance, uh, because all these situations which came about in the beginning, of course, everybody faced a lot of challenges, problems, because nobody thought that this would go out of proportion now. Uh,
Absolutely.
for us, the more than those challenges, the biggest challenge today for us is a climate change, especially when you are coming from an industry which is totally dependent on climate, because your
Right.
crops are all dependent on climate. As soon as you have a climate change, your crops fail. And this has been happening for the last 2 years in Uganda. So that challenge is something which we are faced with, and honestly, we don't know what to do about it. The only thing we have been able to achieve successfully, I would say, as a company, is there's a lot of short selling which is done in this trade. Short selling meaning before the crop starts, you start selling your coffees because you know that the crops are coming. Luckily for us, our supply chain partners have been so transparent with us. They have been so forthcoming. They've been giving us information. On top of that, we ourselves have been doing our own fact finding. We have been going in the fields, and this is very important for any business which is dependent on climate changes. Like for us, so what we did was we took extensive tours within the country, going inside in the remote areas where the farms are, and looking at the trees. It tells you the health of the tree and where the what's going to happen.
Okay.
Now, first failure, we were very spot on, so we were not caught in the whole debacle because we didn't do any short sell. In the second year, uh, there was some information which was misleading. Number one. Number two, uh, it happened all of a sudden. So we saw the crops, we saw the flowering, which was good. And based on that, we started deciding, okay, we took our steps that this is what we are going to do. And suddenly it started raining when it was supposed to be sunshining. As soon as it rains when it's supposed to sunshine, it will damage your harvest.
Crop.
And that's
Yes.
what happened. We were all looking at a huge harvest. Suddenly that harvest disappeared because the rain just swept it away.
Okay.
So no matter what you plan, but sometimes, these situations are totally out of your control. And as I said, we had contracts, we still have contracts. We have done all our best, and the buyers do understand because they're seeing the problem with everybody. So we've been telling them this is what we are, this is where we are, this is what we are going to do, and we are trying to get out of it, but it's not something which we can control totally, uh, and it's a challenge which we continue to face. But maybe I will be able to answer you better in a few months' time once we are out of this and the challenge is over.
Absolutely. So, just carrying on from this point itself, there's a lot happening in technology as well. There's a lot of technological advancements who are influencing various industries. So, in that case, has your company embraced any kind of technological solutions or innovations to maybe ensure a more fruitful production, or to enhance the trade partnerships, or the collaborations, or something down the lines of the supply chain?
Yes, one of the things which we have done recently only, and it's quite recent, we have got a software for CRM. So it's a complete online software. And what we do is all our data from buying up to the selling up to the shipment, everything is on that platform. Now, our buyers can go online and check the status of their shipments, their contracts, at what level we have reached. Previously, we were doing it manually. So every time they would send us emails, we would reply them the email, and it would take time. People would be also doing other things, and they would have to then put the other things out and then give a reply to the buyer. So they would have to have a full information and collect that data, collect that information for them. Now with the CRM, it has allowed us to start putting everything on online. So all the information is entered on that system, and then selectively it allows access to different players to access those data. So, for instance, our supplier, they want to know, they have delivered a coffee to us. What has happened? What is the result? What is the price fixed? What is the payment done? When the payment has been done? everything can be seen by them if we give them a login credentials. So that part of what they need to see, they can see on the platform. They cannot see other things, but they can see their deliveries have arrived us, and this is the analysis for the delivery, and this is the payment that is done. Similarly, for the
Correct.
customer side, it allows them to see that these were the contracts we have done. These are the stages they are in, whether they are shipped, they're
You
not
can
shipped,
track
if
the
they're
entire
shipped,
thing.
their containers are everything. They can monitor, track everything. It's a tracking system basically. So this
Okay.
allows a lot of efficiency in the system. The buyers feel happy because they don't have to keep on sending emails. They just click button and they have the information right in front, rather than sending an email and waiting for an answer while they are
Absolutely.
doing other things also. So it gives them, immediate information for them to also then pass the information to their end buyers. So that's something which we have adopted, and this EUDR project, which I mentioned, we need to digitalize that. And this CRM project, we are trying to now combine it with this EUDR to digitalize all the data which we are going to collect into that CRM. So
Okay.
that, because there will be a certificate to be issued to the European Union by the supplier with all the information. That information will be in advance given to our buyer, who will then present it to the authorities in their respective countries in Europe.
Absolutely.
And they don't have to worry that once the shipment happens, if the European Union says we won't allow because this area was under deforestation, they will know it in advance to avoid any such problems.
Correct. Correct. And I think we can also, because we are talking about AI and IoT and all those things. So I guess even for the climatic changes that you were telling about, I believe that technology can also help to reduce the dependency on climatic changes for large scale productions.
Well, to a certain extent, yes, but I've always seen the Met information is not never 100% accurate. I mean, there's always those misses, and
Correct.
climate. Some things, there's sometimes you can't predict. Problem is you could predict probably 1 week in advance or 10 days in advance more accurately, but 3 months in advance to have more accuracy, it's difficult. when
Right.
you're when you're when you're getting ready for the crop, you're getting ready few months in advance, especially when it
Absolutely.
comes to beans and sesame seeds. You're sowing your crop based on the previous year's experience, that this is the time when the rain comes. And if the rain doesn't come when it was supposed to come, or the sun doesn't come out when it was supposed to come out, that becomes a challenge. Now by the time it happens, you're already too late. So I don't know whether we are there yet in terms of technology to help us with that, to solve that problem for us, because big multinationals, big roasters have failed to predict what's going to happen, and basically they didn't have the information because the technology was not so advanced that could tell them that 6 months down the road or 3 months down the road, this is what is going to happen with your crops.
Correct.
So, answering your question, technology does help, but to a certain extent. AI in our business, I'm not sure, because trading needs a lot of personal touch with
Communication.
the other
That's true.
side, and it's the traders who are talking and forming an opinion. So I'm sure AI will be able to do that, which is scary, I feel, because a lot of people will lose their jobs. Um,
Absolutely.
but I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we
Yeah,
have to
it has
wait
its
and see.
pros and cons,
It
definitely.
has its pros and cons. Yes, it has a lot of pros and a lot of cons also. Uh, we'll
That's true.
see. We'll see.
So, lastly, as a leader in the industry, how do you see the future of trade partnerships evolving? And what role do you envision your company playing in shaping the landscape of these collaborative efforts within the coffee or the cocoa trade?
Any this any business for that matter, especially a commodity trading business, where your markets are so volatile. It's very important for the other side to have a lot of confidence and trust in you,
Correct.
uh, and that cannot be achieved today. I mean, the world has become so small with the internet revolution. At a click of a button, I can find who are the customers around the world, who are the suppliers around the world. I have that
Everything
information.
is right in front of us. Yes.
It makes it easier for me in terms of getting that information. But in building that relationship, it's not going to work. You have to do that personal touch. And that only happens over a period of time. It takes time to build relationships. And once you have built relationships, I think then it's easy. Then the business comes automatically. I feel that business will automatically come when the other side has a lot of confidence, a lot of comfort
Yes.
talking to you. They know that this is the right company I'm talking to. This is the right. Even for us, some of the buyers we feel very happy to talk to, and customers, which we know that they will. I can't say they'll be fair, but yes, in a certain way, they won't try to squeeze you every time. There are certain customers who would work with you so that you also are happy and they are also happy. There are certain customers who just want to be happy. They don't care what you are happy or not happy. So automatically you will go to the person who you feel more comfortable with, the first choice. And that only happens when you have worked with them over a long period of time, know each other so well. Your relationship is so strong with them that they feel absolutely comfortable talking to you, and you feel the same talking to them. And that's the key. I think building your relationships, long-term partnerships, and long-term partnerships only will come when you show them performance. You that's
Correct.
how you do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think one of the thumb rule for any business to succeed is to have a trustworthy relationship with your end customers.
And one of the things today in this today world, there are a lot of exhibitions for each industry, a lot of
Absolutely.
conferences for each industry, which happens
Yes.
in our industry as well. I tend to attend most of them, not for the sake of attending those lectures or seminars, but more so
Networking.
for networking, because it allows you to meet many, many people under one roof in a matter of
Yeah.
days, from different parts of the
Correct.
world. So that's very important, that a lot of
Yes.
times, you go to these exhibitions there of you don't need to go, because there's no need for you to look for anything new in terms of products or anything, but it allows you to meet people, and build that relationship further. So
Correct.
that personal meeting is always important, I feel. And this is how we have always done, is we have always attended these major exhibitions, major conferences in different industries, and that allows you to build those relationships.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mustafa, for this lovely discussion. For a person like me who actually does not have any, you know, technical knowledge of trading, I have also learned and got so many insights of the industry from you. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I would love to try the coffee someday if possible. If it's available here in UAE, do share me the stores and I can definitely try it. And thank you once again for being part of the Professionals Pulse.
Thank you so much for your inviting me, and I hope there was any some useful information I would have been able to give. And thank you once again.
So, signing off, thank you everyone for joining us on today's episode where we embarked on an enlightening exploration of the intricate world of trade partnerships and collaborations. We hope you've gained invaluable insights into the dynamics that shape our interconnected world. Stay tuned for more engaging discussions, expert insights, and inspiring stories that unravel the tapestries of different genres across the professional fields. Don't miss the next episode as we continue our journey into the realms of the professional lives. Until then, signing off and looking forward to have you with us again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.